It's great fun. Funny enough, I
is.
was talking with Tom yesterday about driving, and we were talking about driving in different cars. We've both done the same bus, and driving an alcohol car, especially a blown out car, a coal car, is so much fun. And there is actually more to do in one of those cars than there is in a top fuel car, because with a top methanol car, you have to bring the revs up, you have to leave on time, you have to leave at the right RPM. If you get too much RPM, the clutch starts dragging you through. So there's a lot to sort of control and think about.
And you've got to shift.
Exactly. And at the right time.
And at the right time.
If you don't, it screws the tune up, doesn't it?
Yeah, I used to really enjoy the old top alcohol dragsters. Yeah.
Well done to Danny Bellio's team, moving on to the semi-final round. Not the run they wanted. I'm sure they were trying to see what the start line would take. That possibly was a little bit more than it would take.
Yeah. Well, even with the shape, it still went 0.95 to 60 foot. But say a 15.69 at 47 miles an hour the stripe. But it's an A to B, and they are through to the semis.
The next pair are both from Sweden. They're both A-fuel dragsters, part of the same team actually. Daniel Jedborn's car from up in Skellefteå all the way up in northern Sweden. That's a long old way. That's where Daniel and Dan Soderberg, who used to run Monica's top fuel car, they were really good friends.
Well, I used to own one of their cars.
Did you? Oh, of course you did. Yeah.
top alcohol dragster.
That's right. You bought it. You bought that for them. So it was Dan Soderberg and Danny that Dan Soderberg and Daniel that used to they used to be really good friends. And when they retired, and when Dan retired and Monica retired, it was Dan that actually initially took ownership of their old top fuel car, which now resides with Johnny Lag. Try and keep up. Sorry about this. But anyway, yeah. So it's Daniel Jedborn's car with Tina Høst Nedregård, her first weekend here in the UK ever, drag racing at Sandsport, taking on a guy who's been around doing this, well, actually, saying he's been doing it a long while. Tony Brinterson with a Bill Sport, AE Fuel dragster. He was around in top methanol in the 80s, top fuel in the early 90s, then he took 30 years off, roughly, I think. And Johnny Lag roped him back in to running an A-fuel dragster, which is the car he's in down there with now. He was your number one qualifier until the very last session where Sandro took it off him. These cars basically are, if you will, junior top fuel dragsters, aren't they?
Yeah, I was just about to say, explain to people the difference between the ones we drove with the supercharged methanol, and these are injected nitro. I've never driven one of these, to be fair.
Well, they are. The thing that's quite amazing as well, oh no, it looks like Tony Brinterson has got a problem. Sitting in the car, shaking his head. It's a buy run for Tina. So, as this was the number 2 and number 5 qualified pair, the winner of this race would get a bye in the semi-final, which means that Tina, if she stages here and stages in the semi, she'll be in the final round. Well, that is what you call an unbelievable amount of racing luck, because she hasn't run quicker than the 6.0 all weekend through qualifying. They just mentioned damage yesterday, ran out of time unfortunately to get it fixed for the last qualifying session. That is a real sickener for Tony.
Well, there's a bit of action going on down here, Darryl, because I think it might only be a battery problem, the starter battery problem. So no, I'm wrong. I thought they were going to use the other battery pack.
That would be ideal.
Yeah, it would have been.
They're a bit too casual, unfortunately.
Yeah, they were. Yeah. It's definitely a battery problem of some sort.
Well, Tina is just going to take the green light. Unbelievable way to take the first round win here in the UK. They know they've now got a long day ahead of them. Come back for the semi-finals, and then all be more the final round as well later on today. What an incredible turn of events. Just proves you have to be in it to win it, and nothing is ever done. Massive commiserations to Tony. Tina takes the green light, just rolls forward. That's Daniel on the radio saying, stop, we don't want to run after you.
Do you know, Darryl, that's the worst thing that ever happened to me in my drag racing career. I had a buy run, and Runa told me to do that. And it was in Sweden, and I hated it, and the crowd hated it, and I thought, well, no, I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to, if he tells me to do it again, I'm going to tell him my foot slipped.
That was nicely recovered. I thought that was going to be something else then.
Yeah.
Yeah. All that you have to do in eliminations to move on is to take the green light, and that's what Tina and the team did there. It's not the best for everybody, but it's best for them, and they've come a long way to race. They did do ended damage yesterday.